Ever wonder how your heart keeps your body alive every day? It's constantly beating. What's actually going on? What does your heart pumps do? Today, we're going to break down exactly how your heart pumps blood around your body and dive into what's going on. Okay, so the heart pumps blood in a double circulatory system. So one loop is going to be pumping blood towards your lungs to pick up oxygen, and the other loop is going to be pumping that blood that's rich in oxygen to your body to give up oxygen to some of the cells. So the first loop I'm going to write down here is your pulmonary circulation. Okay? Your pulmonary circulation. That's on the right side. I know that the right is on the left, but how we learn it is the right side of your body. So I'm like this, and this is my right side. So I'm a medical student, but I'm still figuring my rights, but this is the right side of the body. Okay, it's your pulmonary circulation, and the left side of your body is your systemic circulation. So when it comes to your pulmonary circulation, it's going from your right side to your lungs back to your heart, and then systemic circulation is going to your lungs, to your heart, to your body. So when we think about your pulmonary circulation, your blood is deoxygenated. Okay, so this is blood which is low in oxygen and it's high in carbon dioxide. When we think about what major vein brings blood back to the heart, we have our vena cava. Okay, so you have your superior vena cava and you have your inferior vena cava. And what the vena cava is basically going to do is going to bring back blood from your upper extremities and your lower extremities, and it's going to drain in your right atrium. Okay, so we have 4 chambers of the heart. We have 2 atria and we have 2 ventricles. We have a right atria and a left atria. Then we have a right ventricle and we have a left ventricle. So when we think about the pulmonary circulation, think about that deoxygenated blood, low in oxygen, and this blood is going to the lungs to collect oxygen so that it can be pumped back to the heart and then be pumped around the body. I'm going to write down oxygenated here, and that oxygenated blood is going to be high in oxygen, and that's going to come from your lungs. Okay, so once your blood is filled with oxygen, it can then be pumped around the body via your aorta. Okay, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to walk through each of the steps on where blood is coming from, what it's going through, where it's going to, and where it's going. Okay, so your right atrium is going to receive deoxygenated blood from your body, as said before, by your vena cava. Your right atrium is going to fill with blood. Your atrioventricular valve is going to open up. Blood's going to pour into your right ventricle. It creates a pressure difference. You're going to get your AV valves closing, and then you're going to get the contraction of your right ventricle. And that right ventricle is going to be pumping blood towards your lungs. And it does this via your pulmonary artery. It's called your pulmonary artery. Where I think about A means away, so it's pumping blood away from the heart. But the pulmonary artery doesn't contain your oxygenated blood. The blood is deoxygenated. So the pulmonary artery is an artery which is going to the lungs to collect oxygen. So that's the right atrium and the right ventricle. Now we're going on to the left atrium. The left atrium is going to receive oxygenated blood via your pulmonary vein. So from the lungs, it's going to go to the left atrium. Same thing, in another video I'm going to go into more on what the AV valves are alongside your aortic and pulmonary valves and some of the structures supporting the valves, etc. But for this video, it's going to be a brief just overview into this. Cool. So you have your obviously left atrium. So oxygen, blood getting oxygen from the lungs is going to be pumped into your left atrium. Okay. So your left ventricle. This is a very thick portion of your heart. It has a very thick muscular wall, and that thick muscle is going to help to pump the blood around the body. When we think about where that blood's going, that blood is going to be going through your aorta. Okay, and the aorta is one of your huge vessels in your body, and The aorta has a lot of different branches where it's going to be giving obviously some of the oxygen to your cells to sustain respiration and for your cells to produce energy. So your right atrium, right ventricle, that is, right atrium is receiving blood, deoxygenated blood. Your right ventricle is going to be pumping that to your lungs to collect oxygen. Your left atrium is going to be now receiving oxygenated blood through your pulmonary vein. Okay, and that left ventricle, as I said, has a very thick muscular wall that's going to be pumping blood through your aorta to give up oxygen to the rest of your body. Oh, what I can do, actually, since I'm already doing this video, I'm going to do like a step-by-step flow. So I'm just going to write down what's basically happening. Because you can see it visually, and now I'm going to just kind of put it into bullet points so you can see exactly what's happening. So the first step, so you have your body. Okay, so step one, blood from your body is going to be entering your vena cava, and that vena cava is going to drain your deoxygenated blood into your right atrium. Step two, okay, you have your right atrium, and then you're going to have your tricuspid valve, and then you're going to have your right ventricle. So the tricuspid valve is found on the right side. How I remember is right, tri kind of relates to right. That makes sense? Your tricuspid valve just has 3 cusps to it, okay? And that's your atrioventricular valve, which is going to separate your right atrium from your right ventricle, okay? So once the blood passes your right atrium, passes the tricuspid valve, enters your right ventricle, from your right ventricle now, it is going to be traveling through your pulmonary valve to your, just do PA for pulmonary artery, okay? And then it's going to the lungs to collect oxygen. Step 4. Once the blood's at the lungs now, it's going to give away its carbon dioxide for it to be expelled out of the body in a breath, and it's going to be bringing in oxygen. Okay, so the lungs pulmonary vein is going to be containing your oxygenated blood, and that pulmonary vein is going to go to, just follow the diagram, your left atrium. Next step, so from your left atrium, you have your mitral valve. And your mitral valve, also known as your bicuspid valve, is one of the atrioventricular valves. When you break down atrioventricular, all it is just a valve between your left atrium and your left ventricle. So on the right side, we have your tricuspid, right, 3 cusps, and your bicuspid valve has two cusps to it, okay? And your mitral valve is going to separate your left atrium to your left ventricle. Okay, so from the left ventricle now, we now have your aortic valve. So blood has to pass your aortic valve. Once it passes the aortic valve is a valve of your aorta. Yes. Okay, that is one full cycle. So blood is going to be in your body, alright? It's just giving up its oxygen, and now has to get back to the right atrium. Blood has to drain there. So your vena cava, you have a superior vena cava and an inferior vena cava, and it's going to drain the blood from your upper extremities and your lower extremities. It's going to drain into your right atrium. Between the right atrium and right ventricle, you have the tricuspid valve. Blood gets into the right ventricle, pressure builds up. You're going to open up your pulmonary valve, and that pulmonary valve is going to allow the blood to enter the pulmonary artery. And pulmonary, it's all about the lungs. So this artery is going to the lungs to collect oxygen, okay, and to give away CO2. You have that exchange of the CO2 and O2. So we're adding O2 and we're taking away CO2 at the lungs. Where am I? So pulmonary artery to the lungs. At the lungs, you also have your pulmonary veins. You have 4 pulmonary veins, and that's going to be bringing oxygenated blood back to your left atrium. Okay, so remember that the left side is about your systemic circulation, so we now have the oxygen we need. From your left atrium, you have your mitral valve, which is one of the atrioventricular valves, a valve between your left atrium and left ventricle. And once you get to your left ventricle, you have your aortic valve, which is the valve of the aorta. And once the oxygenated blood's in the aorta, it's going to be pumped around the body, and your cells are going to get the oxygen it needs so it can produce energy and sustain life. This system is really important because this is literally going to keep your cells alive, making sure your cells has the nutrients it needs, and it's getting rid of that buildup of CO2. Without this system, you won't survive, people. So when I'm learning this, it's actually really interesting because this is happening right now at my heart. Everyone do that right now. Everyone stop what you're doing, just feel your heart. And you're like, yo, my right atrium is filling up the blood right now. Okay. And I was going to the right ventricle. Okay. Then between the right ventricle, I'm getting to the pulmonary arteries. You have the pulmonary valve. I'm going to the lungs to collect oxygen now. Okay, give away CO2. Pulmonary veins are bringing it back to the left atrium. Systemic circulation, so I've got oxygen now. And the left ventricle, man, going past the aortic valve into the aorta. And now that the blood's in the aorta is getting pumped all around the body. Alright? Okay, that's the video. If this video helped, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. I'm a medical student going into my second year, and like doing teachers like this is it's revision for myself as well. So not only am I revising, I'm getting out the content for others. So yeah, you really know how it is. It's Holistic Jordan. I'll see you all in the next YouTube video. Peace.